Hello, a fine day to you all. Welcome to a new English language podcast for learners. It is called the Capricious Nonsense podcast. This podcast is in simple and plain English, spoken slowly and clearly. My name is Dan, and I'm from Britain. I've wanted to make a podcast like this for some time. I am also learning a second language at the moment. Slowly spoken and simple podcasts are very helpful, but they also have to be fun and interesting. So, I will try my best to record interesting podcasts for you all. You may think, what is the name of this podcast? Or even, why is the podcast called Capricious Nonsense? You may also ask what these words mean. I know that starting a simple English podcast called Capricious Nonsense might be silly. These may be difficult words for beginners. I don't know. I can explain what they mean and why the podcast is called Capricious Nonsense. So, the word nonsense. Do you know what this word means? The word nonsense means something that might be silly. It means something that you don't understand. It could mean something silly, strange, or difficult to understand. For example, if I am writing a story, what is the story about? I can't write stories very well. I am not a good writer. The story doesn't make sense. It isn't clear what is happening in my story. If you read my story, you may think, I don't understand. What is happening? What is the story about? You could say it does not make sense. You could say that it is nonsense. Maybe you do understand the story, but you think that it is silly. You have read my story, you understood what happened, but you didn't like it. You thought that it was silly. You could also say that the story was nonsense. It could be that what I wrote was wrong. If you thought that my story was wrong, you could also say it was nonsense. Hopefully, you understand what the word nonsense means. It could be something that is silly, wrong, or does not make sense. Okay then, next word. Capricious. Capricious. What does this word mean? That is a good question. What is the meaning of the word capricious? Here is an example. Imagine that this week I really like football. All week, all I do is play football. I think about football, I watch football, and I talk about football. I really enjoy everything about football. But next week, I think that I do not like football anymore. I don't watch football, I don't play football, I don't do anything else. Next week, I really like video games, I forget about football. Then, the week after, I like something else. That would be capricious. I would be capricious. Another example is if I went to the supermarket. So, I go to a shop to buy some food. I go to the shop because I really need some more coffee. When I get to the supermarket, I stand and look at the coffee. In the shop are many different types of coffee that I could buy. I want to choose some coffee, but I do not know which one to buy. I cannot choose what coffee to buy. I can't decide. So, I do not buy any coffee at all. I don't buy any coffee. Maybe I will leave the supermarket. Or maybe I will buy some tea instead. I changed my mind about it. I suddenly wanted to buy something else. That would be capricious. It could be that somebody asked me to buy them some coffee, but instead I buy them an apple, or I buy them some cheese. I could buy something that they didn't want. I bought something that they did not need. I bought something unexpected. That would be capricious. 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 It's a difficult word. It's a strange word. It isn't a word that people use very often. So please don't worry. But I wanted to explain what these words mean to help you learn and understand new words. Hopefully, I have taught you 2 new words. Hopefully, I explained things properly. So, you might still wonder why this podcast is called Capricious Nonsense. There are a few reasons. I want the podcast to be fun, and I want people to enjoy listening to it. I want to talk about different things. Sometimes silly things. Sometimes random things. Random is a similar word to capricious. A random thing is something you did not expect. Something you were not expecting to hear. Hopefully, this podcast will not be nonsense and you will understand what I talk about. Hopefully, you will also learn new and interesting things. I am a musician. I write music. I record music and I play music. I have made music since I was quite young. I started playing music when I was young, when I was a child. I think I started learning to play music when I was 10 or 11 years old. When I was younger, I made music with my best friend. We would write and record music together, but we were not very good at it. The music we made did not sound good. Unfortunately, the music was not good. The music that we wrote was nonsense. It sounded bad, and it was about many silly things. we wrote a song together which we called Capricious Nonsense. Capricious Nonsense. It was quite a silly song and did not make much sense. I think we wrote the song using words from different posters in my bedroom. So, in that sense, it was a lot of nonsense. What is a poster? A poster is a picture or a piece of paper that you put on your wall. So we wrote the song using words from different posters on my wall in my bedroom. So the words did not make sense. They were nonsense. So that is where this podcast got its name. Hopefully you will enjoy more episodes of the Capricious Nonsense English Language Learning podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Let's meet again soon. Goodbye.